Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. So now we have come to the point whereby we're going to rate the individuals in the National Standing Committee of the MDC Alliance, okay, or MDC, whichever name you prefer to call it. So my first pick for the rating is the national chairman. This is a very huge post. This is a very big post in the party. Like after the president, the vice president, then comes the chairman. So you can see that this is not a small post. It's a really big post that demands a lot of things. So we're going to be looking at 5 points, and from these 5 points, I'm going to be rating the individual, gentleman Morgan Komichi, out of 10. So each point will carry each duty order will carry 2 points, right? So here's the first point that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so based on my own assessment, my own analysis, I would say Morgan Komichi really did well as an overseer of the party. Why am I saying so? When Morgan Tsvangirai passed away in February, Morgan Komichi, he was still the deputy then, before the resignation of Love Moyo. We saw Morgan Komichi coming in, stepping in, stabilizing the party, ensuring that the People's President, Nelson Chamisa, gets his way, gets into office. He really did a good job there. Thumbs up. I have no issue with him there. He really acted like a big boy. You know, there was a lot of noise. Cockpit was burning, really. But Mr. Komichi did a wonderful job. He stabilized the party. He went with what the people wanted. The people wanted Nelson Chamisa, and the people got Nelson Chamisa. And for that, I thank him so much for being a good leader, for showing leadership qualities. I don't have any problem with this one. I think in the initial stages, we talk of March, April, thereabout, I think he did well. You know, as far as the oversight is concerned, so I'll give him a 2 points there on this point. So when it comes to reconciliation and national healing, this is a big task, right? This is the point whereby we talk of resolving issues such as Gukura Wunde, Mrambatsina, 2008 violence, whatever, right? But we're talking, this is on a national scale, okay? So I can't really rate him on that because he hasn't performed that duty yet. And I would say my healing and reconciliation has to do with the party itself, the MDC Alliance. So this is what I decided to do, that I'll rate his healing skills and his power to negotiate, to bring warring parties together on the party itself, not the nation as a whole. Okay. So on this point, he tried to do well, but I'm afraid he fell short, because we ended up having Thokozani Kupe, Obed Kutu, Abednego Bebe breaking away, forming their own party, which they call the MDCT. Based on that, I would say the reconciliation, the healing in the party failed. Mr. Komichi, I know it was tough, but then he could have done better, maybe, because I'm a supporter and maybe I needed the MDC to go in as one brand, one big brand, right? Did Morgan Komichi do well to avoid the split, the breakaway? This is open to different interpretations, right? So on this point, I'll just say, to be fair to the gentleman, I'll give him 1 out of 2. He could have done better, maybe. Yes, he could have done better. So we move on to this very crucial point. It talks about monitoring, supervision, oversight of elections. And when you say elections, you mean in the party and nationally. I'm going to be focusing much of my points as regard to this duty on the primary elections within the party itself. Here we are. Morgan Richard Tsvangirai is gone. We have Nelson Chamisa with a new lion in the house. Right? We are ready to go. The party is energized. Everyone is happy. Everyone is excited. The momentum is building up. Morgan Komichi failed. The national chairman failed us here. First of all, the issue to do with candidates, those that were supposed to contest primary elections, was not handled well. We had certain guys that their CVs were thrown out. Those guys were never given the chance to answer. They were never given a chance to bring their case. In other words, the chairman did not communicate with this individual to say, no, you know what, you can't make it, you can't be representative, you can't go for primary election because so and so, so and so. He didn't communicate with these guys. What did this then lead to? It led to these guys contesting his independence or crossing the floor, moving to Thokozani Kupe, which we could have avoided. We would have brought these guys together to say, guys, look, your CV was rejected because so and so, your CV was rejected because so and so. Because of these reasons, you can't contest in our party primary election, but we need you, so stay with us. He didn't do that, he didn't communicate, he totally failed. Still on this big point, the other issue has to do with the primary issue, the primary elections itself. I am understanding that there were no voters rolls for the primary elections. In other words, you didn't know who was going to vote. There was no audit of the voters roll before the primary elections and after the primary elections. That's why there was a lot of chaos. Some people ended up running away with ballot papers, ballot boxes, because the national chairman in this office failed to provide the voters roll. This is slash the structures of a certain ward or a certain district during the primary elections. So again, we're seeing his failure to conduct a smooth primary election here. And against you on this very big point, there's an issue of double candidates. This is where the issue of double candidates came in from. In other words, as far as the MDC constitution is concerned, it is the responsibility of the national chairman to handle primary elections, right? So if he handles primary elections, then it is his responsibility to make sure that the party is a single representative in the election. But we had double candidates. I know there are stories that make around that our Secretary General Douglas Monzora signed papers, nomination papers for other candidates, and Morgan Komichi signed again. Then we had double candidates. But as far as the constitution of the MDC concerned, the Secretary General Douglas Monzora has nothing to do with primary elections, has nothing to do with signing of papers for candidates. He has nothing to do with that. That responsibility falls within the chairman of the party, the chairman who was Morgan Komichi by then. So the issue of double candidates, it is Morgan Komichi's baby. Morgan Komichi did not explain why we had double candidates. I remember he gave a press conference one time. He was saying he was going to negotiate with the other guys so that one drops and one remains. But why do you negotiate with the rebel? You can't negotiate with the rebel. Why do you negotiate with James Maridad? He was contesting against his fellow brother Chidakwa in Mapukuta Fara constituency. The same James Maridad was now a ZANU-PF ambassador. So Morgan Komichi failed. He could have stopped the issue of double candidates. We lost about 3 or 4 seats because of double candidates. And it is Morgan Komichi's responsibility. He failed. And for this, on this point to do with oversight, monitoring and supervision of elections, I'll give him a 0 stress 0. Then we go on. The next point talks about discipline in the party. In other words, this point says Morgan Komichi is the chairman of the disciplinary committee. He is also the chairman of, wait for it, Directorate for Elections. This is so interesting. All right. So we know that there was a lot of ill discipline in the party last year towards the election. So many people were acting as party spokespersons, right? There was an issue of so many independent candidates, like the issue of Jessima Jome. She was an independent candidate. That's ill discipline, right? So my question is, since we had so many double candidates, independent candidates rather, what happened after the election? Were these cadres disciplined? Were they called for hearing? No, there was nothing like that. Nothing happened. Why did it not happen, Mr. Chairman? It's your responsibility to ensure that there's discipline in the party. So you allowed this road to go on and on forever. So I feel you failed to meet expectation here. You failed to ensure that there was discipline in the party. Why you failed to ensure that there was discipline in the party, we don't know, I don't know. But based on what happened last year, I don't think you are fit to hold this position if you cannot discipline cadres. If you cannot tell someone, no, you are wrong, don't contest this seat. No, you are wrong, you don't belong in this party. You contested as an independent and split the vote. That's clear. It's a no-brainer, really. And then still on the this duty, this point that has to do with disciplinary and him chairing the Director of Elections. By him chairing the Directorate of Elections, Morgan Komichi becomes the chief strategist of the party. In other words, the whole election, the whole strategy was with Morgan Komichi, because that's what the Constitution says. He is the one who chairs the electorate director, sort of the Directorate of Election, whatever they call it. He's the one who chairs it, right? In other words, he's the chief, making the de facto chief strategist of the party. And he failed to perform his duties. He failed to lead. There was no strategy in the party when it comes to election. I, for one, question the logic of having Nelson Chamisa address rallies in Gweru and Bulawayo twice. But Nelson Chamisa was never in Mount Dito, was never in Shamva, was never in Rushinga. Why go to same places twice? Again, when it comes to election strategy, I'll ask Morgan Komichi, what did you do? Why did you allow this to happen? What strategy was it? And these were urban areas also. So on this one, I think Morgan Komichi really failed. So I'll give him a 0 again. Okay, so moving on to the last point, that it has to do with the oversight of elected officials. This means he's the one who's in charge of all the district chairmen, the secretaries, you name them, right? But how will he manage to give oversight if he can't even discipline a party candidate in a primary election? It becomes tricky. And also we heard of issues of people being bribed in the district level, like for example in Nyanga South. The district would allow someone in the diaspora to contest primary elections, but they are not there. And that person will come in a month before the national election to campaign. That means there was something wrong with those district officials. What did Morgan Komichi do? Did he address these situations? No, he didn't address these situations, which means he has failed. He didn't do well also. He failed to provide oversight to these elected officials, right? He failed. We had so many problems in the party. We had a lot of issues. People complaining about their chairmen in the wards, in the district. And the National Chairman's Office did nothing to prevent all this. To prevent the damage from going on, from taking place. So in other words, Morgan Komichi has not really performed well. And one would ask, why is he even the vice president when he's failing to perform his basic duties as a national chairman? What criteria was used to promote him, to make him the vice president of the party? No, he doesn't deserve that because he failed to lead, he failed to be a chairman, right? So on the last point, I'll give Mr. Komichi 1. I really feel like if there was oversight in the districts, starting from the wards, we wouldn't have issues of double candidates. It was not going to happen. So I've just basically rated Morgan Komichi on 5 key points that are in the Constitution that are expected of him. And his overall score is 4 out of 10. And the 4 is below a pass rate. So he's not fit for that position. He's not fit for the position of vice presidency. I know he did a lot of things. He stepped in to ensure Nelson Chamisa takes over. All that is fine. I agree with that, and I gave him my full 2 points. But to say he should be the vice president of the party, we're lying, guys. We have to be honest with each other. I don't hate him, but I based him on the Constitution, on what the Constitution said. He failed with a lot of things. Being the chief strategist of the election makes him a failure. It was a mess. The whole election was a mess. We failed on strategy. We failed on strategy. So thank you so much, guys. I hope we can discuss the ratings or via the live feed. I'll give you the times on my timeline when you can do that. I want your input also. I want your feedback. Maybe you can rate him differently than me. It's welcome. You don't have to agree with me. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all.